to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Do not adjust your set. The video's not frozen. I had a little procedure done this week, and I'm looking kind of like I've been in a prize fight, even kind of feeling like I've been in a prize fight because of the NVAX stock this week. We're going to talk about that as we look at the portfolio. But it was kind of a rough week on the Novavax for sure, a rough week on my face. So I'm going to spare you and not show you this lovely shiners I have in both my eyes, it looks like. Hopefully I'll be well pretty soon. I'll be able to get back on here as far as the video goes. But did want to have a video and talk about the portfolio this week and how we've been doing there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the portfolio for the week and take a look at that right. So here you see our portfolio. On the top of the list, we do see Moderna, and we keep Moderna on there to show what's going on with that compared to what's going on with Novavax. And so we're going to talk about that. You can see it was a very red day for us, even though the market was green. Thursday and Friday, we had some rough days, but we actually ended up the week pretty good. I mean, a really good week as far as that goes, and we'll talk about why. But let's just skip over the Moderna. You can see it was red, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Bitcoin's a little on the red side today. Bitcoin had a pretty decent week. So MSTR and HUT are impacted by that. So let's take a look at the 5-day chart on MSTR. Not holding any of this right now, but some of you may still be holding yours if you got any. But you can see it had a pretty good little run this week along with Bitcoin and managed to hold up there pretty good for the 5-day. So that's a good week for them. MicroStrategies, they hold a lot of the Bitcoin. They buy it like crazy, so it's like a Bitcoin proxy. HUT, same thing, Bitcoin proxy. This is a Bitcoin miner. 5-day chart on them. You can see here, pretty good week for them as well. Even though it's a little rough, up and down. But I don't think this had as good a week. It doesn't seem like to me as now percentage-wise it probably did, but MicroStrategies was pretty strong. So you can see the volume was kind of low on Friday compared to what it's been. So anytime you got low volume, it's just not as exciting, and they were down, so that's probably one reason why. And here's the one that we need to talk about. Very busy week for Novavax. You can see heavy volume Friday on a down day. The down day was terrible. It was $20 down. But we're going to talk about all 5 days here. So you can see last week we had a really good run up beginning of the week with Novavax. And so we were having a really good week for the portfolios because we are loaded up on this stock. But you can see what happened to us towards the end of the week. We just dropped off like a rock. We're going to talk about some of the reasons why. But what I've been doing during this period of time, I've actually been buying and selling this Novavax stock. And what I'm doing, I'm actually trying to make a good trade for the day. But what I'm really doing is I'm selling this stock for a loss, the ones I'm holding, and trying to bring down my cost average by buying these cheaper shares. Now, taking a loss on the ones I'm holding, but I'm maintaining the same number of shares, if not more, because I don't always sell as many as I bought. So, and the reason I'm able to do that is because we've made a lot of money on this one this year, so we're playing with their money. So we're actually giving some of it back for now. I don't think that's going to stay that way by any means, and because of the progress that they're making here. So let's talk about the week and talk about some of the trades I made. So what I did this week with Novavax on the 4th, which was Thursday, I believe it was, Thursday, we bought at 183 and we sold the same number of shares between 183 and 193.23. So you can see we made a little bit of money on the shares that day, but the ones we're actually selling are our older shares, which are a much higher price, and we took a pretty good loss on those. All right, on 11/5, we did the same thing. We bought some at 155 and 153, And what we did there is we sold out at 156. So made just a little bit, not much, but swapped out some higher price shares for some lower price shares, and we're bringing down our cost average. I think our cost average now is running around 205, which is, it looks bad right now, but Novavax can move like that in a day or two, as we've just seen. I like that we're getting close to under 200. That's where my goal is to get under that 200 mark. And so we'll probably keep doing what we've been doing, taking these losses. We've had some good months behind us, so we can afford to do some of that and get our cost average at a good spot for the close of the year. All right, so uh, talk about Novavax here. You can see the run up Monday, Tuesday. They had some good news. We talked about some of that already. And then Wednesday, what happened, it closed kind of flat. It looked like it was going to have a bad day. And towards the end of the day, you can see here it shot back up and it closed uh, only about 10 cents down from the opening price, or previous close, I mean. From the previous close, we're only down 10%. So not a bad day on Wednesday, really. Okay. But Thursday, you can see we had a pretty good drop Thursday. And of course, we had a pretty good drop Friday as well. But I want you to notice what this thing did on Thursday. This was the day that well, let's go back to Wednesday. Wednesday, we had an approval for New Zealand. Okay. Uh, and we probably would have had a really good day there if not for Moderna. Moderna had a earnings where they missed some of their earnings. So that impacted us because Moderna was down and they drug us down with them because our earnings was going to be the next day after hours, and it kind of spooked some of the investors for us. So that's kind of why we ended up down. But some folks got a little brave towards the end of the day and bought back in, so we brought it back up. But that didn't stop. The next day we had the same deal, more bad news for Moderna, and it just impacted us. Nothing really terrible that came out on Thursday for us because we were waiting on earnings. So um, we sat there and we waited all day on earnings. You can see here a drop because of Moderna. We had a really good drop there, actually mid morning there, and then you can see we fought our way back, and kind of ended up close to where we were after the major drop here. So we went into after hours and we had earnings. And earnings, even though we didn't beat the revenues or the numbers, the earnings, actual earnings numbers, we had a great conference call, and everything was upbeat. We went up in after hours, $11, $12 in after hours. So I thought we were going to have a real good day Friday, and I actually woke up early that morning, and I guess it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. Checked the pre-market. We were up good in the pre-market, but some news came out about a Pfizer pill, and it just crushed the rest of the stocks as far as COVID-19 stocks. So it just the Pfizer pill is very similar to the Moderna pill that was or Merck's pill. I'm sorry, Merck's pill, where Pfizer's come out and said they've got an 89% effectiveness for their pill, and Merck's got a 50%. So everybody was crushed on that news, and including Novavax. So you can see we had a really rough day. I was getting concerned where were we going to stop. You can see here all the way down to 146. But as I do, these are opportunities if you trust your stock, and that's when we were also buying on this day at 153 and 155.50. So I bought a little early there because I wished I'd known it was going to go down to 148, and I would have bought way down there. But you never know. I thought that was close to the bottom at 153, and so that's where I bought it. And you can see what we did the rest of the day. We did claw our way back, very similar to this day here where we claw our way back. People panic. The big boys come in here and scoop up everybody's shares, 8 million, 12 million Friday. So you see here lots of shares that get taken away from people that have, people like to call it paper hands. But they can't hold through it, and it's hard. I'm not sitting here saying it's not hard to sit here, especially when you got a good bit invested. But It's the worst thing you can do usually, especially. We've talked about some things before about stocks and when this kind of thing's happening. Uh, is it the market? Is the market broke? Is the stock broke? And is the company broke? So let's talk about that just 1 second. All right, the markets were not broke because the markets were green both of those days that we were diving. So it's definitely not the market. Is the company broke? Well, absolutely not. After listening to that earnings call, uh, the company's not broke at all. We have 1.9 billion in cash. That's B with a B. I mean billion with a B. So we got 1.9 billion in cash. We've got an increased revenue, and we've got a recent approval, and we're adding more and more applications for approval. One of which was announced in the earnings call was the WHO filing. That's the World Health Organization filing. So we filed with them. On the earnings call that we talked about, there was no manufacturing issues. Uh, they missed, yes, the revenues and the earnings numbers, but again, that really doesn't matter right now. We're talking about these approvals and getting these things. So, very good earnings call, very upbeat. The stock went up. So all that was looking good. The company is definitely not broke. Market's not broke. Company's not broke. So is it the stock? And I'm going to tell you right now that this stock is broke. Okay, because not because of us, but because of some of the things that we're hearing about these pills that are created by Pfizer. But those pills are not vaccines, as far as I know. They are treatments, and it's not like they're going to be coming out tomorrow. And the revenue and everything still is a good opportunity for us. So the stock is broke. So I don't worry about when the stock breaks, because stocks somehow, usually a lot of times, will manage to fix themselves. So the main thing is you got to be concerned about is when a company's broke. I don't feel like we're there. So I do want to show you something. Here's talking about why these stocks are having extremely volatile weeks. Uh, and it talks about Moderna, oxygen, and all that kind of stuff. I played that one before as well. But uh, so here's what I wanted to show you right down here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Okay, are any of these volatile COVID-19 stocks a screaming buy right now? And this person here says among the three, Novavax arguably stands out as the best buy. The company's novel coronavirus vaccine posted some of the highest levels of efficiency in clinical studies among the leaders in the space. It sports a more traditional protein-based vaccine product that ought to appeal to individuals hesitant about the mRNA-based vaccines, and its shares are currently trading less than 3 times the 2022 projected sales. So that's some good information right there, all in that short paragraph. Uh, we've got a different kind of vaccine, a more standard kind. These new RNA vaccines are kind of new, and people are hesitant to take them. That's why a lot of folks don't take them. Hopefully, they'll take this our vaccine once it gets approved. And you can see here that it's based on low sales projections right now as far as its current price. And the if you look at the market value of Moderna versus Novavax, Moderna's it's probably, I'm not sure exactly how many, 7 to 10 times more than Novavax. So that's something to look at too. So if Novavax gets halfway there, we could have a pretty good share price on our hands. But again, this is just something that we've got to hang in there with if you're holding these shares. I mean, this is not financial advice, but this is what I do. Is I don't get spooked by these type of things. I actually try to make things better by increasing the getting a better cost average on my shares. So I'm going to hang with them. It was a tough week, but I do want to show you this. For the 5 week deal, 5 day, we were actually up about 6.5%. You can't really tell it here, but we were up about 6.5% for the week, based off of the last 5 days. And so Can't argue with that. 6.5% gain for the week's not bad at all. But no, we haven't gotten beaten up the second half of the week. I was getting really excited because we were having a fantastic week for the portfolio. Still had a great week for the portfolio, even though the last 2 days were rough. When you see all that money on your portfolio and then all of a sudden it's not there anymore, it does hurt a little bit. So Tilray, really, Novavax has had most of my attention this week. So let's just take it to 5-day look. You can see here, if anything, it's probably close to, it was up, closed up, but it's pretty flat for the week, really. I mean, had a couple of up days, just like Novavax, and we didn't manage to close on the high. Let's go back to the last one here is Nikola. Nikola was having a pretty good week as well, but gave it all away. We had a good Thursday, really good Thursday. Went up like $2 almost, and then it just gave it all back. Look at that. So volatile stocks, volatile stocks. One thing I'm seeing here, because I am trading some options. I mean, if you're quick to pull the trigger on your options, a lot of times you can make some quick money, but you better do it quick because they often go down quick too. So I've got 3 options on Novavax right now that I was actually up on Wednesday. I bought them Wednesday. I had sold out of 3 Tuesday or so and made some good money on them. I'm talking, 40 and 50%, and then turn around and bought back in on Wednesday, was up a little while on them, and now I'm down probably 30% on the ones I'm holding. So these options move quick, so you got to be fast. But I've got them way out there till April, so we'll see how those end up. I still have a lot of confidence by the end of the year we're going to be seeing some good prices on this Novavax stock. If not by the end of this month, we'll see. But anyway, I hope you have a good week in trading coming up. Again, if you have not subscribed, please click that subscribe button. And hopefully I'll be presentable here pretty soon. We can jump back on here and go live as far as the video goes. And you can see my pretty face again. But right now it's just not near as pretty as it used to be. All right, I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a great week in trading. And we'll try to jump back on here maybe Monday or Tuesday. Okay? Thanks. Bye.